The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is going on, everybody? You are watching The Link, and of course, it is your boy, your favorite prevention training specialist over here at Swab and Chill, Daniel J. I am here with my co-hosts. Honey, why don't y'all say hello real quick? Introduce yourselves. Go around.
Well, what's mother trucking goodie? Okay, because I have to remember. Still aware. It's Dwayne Tavid, your other favorite prevention training specialist. And we in the same.
Hi everybody, Kai Smith, your program coordinator for our CDC-funded MSM program, Healthy Him. Hey.
And good morning, good afternoon, or good night, because you could be watching this at any time of the day. It is your boy Ryan from Biomedical Interventions. Hello, everybody.
The new face.
Right. So first of all, we want to apologize that Kai looked like he coming from, the support closet, but that's okay. That's okay. That's not his fault. That's not his fault. We want to remind you that The Link is a collaboration between APLA Health, Higher Media Network, and of course, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, because they give us all of that good funding so that we can do what we do. Honey, but let's get into it because I got things to talk about. Okay? It's time for What's Poppin'. Okay? We got some things that we need to get into. And the first is, okay, NASM Conference 2022. Now, for those of you who have no idea what the hell NASM is a national conference that happens in regards to the HIV and AIDS epidemic, specifically with African-American communities and Black MSM, men who sleep with men. And Dwayne and I got a chance to go to the NASM conference. Did. And Dwayne, I'll push it to you. Like, what was your experience like? Because I believe this was your first time as well as mine, correct?
Yes, correct. It was.
Tell us about your experience. How did you enjoy it?
I mean, my experience was really good. It was a lot of people in the same field, public health. There were some students there. There were some, community members there as well. And overall, it just felt really enriching. Really enriching and just like fortifying to my spirit, okay? Because like there was a lot of people telling us about their work, how they go about getting the numbers to do HIV testing and promoting PrEP and things like that, but also like the new innovative ways that they have been able to do that. And also it was like across the country? Yeah, across the country. Across the country, y'all. So it was cool to see what it looks like in Atlanta versus what it looks like in the South versus what it looks like over here on the West Side. Okay, so what was yours, Daniel?
I mean, technically we're the South too, but we're just not the deep South because we are in Southern California.
Okay,
so
we'll take it.
Well, my experience of the conference was absolutely amazing. I have to say, it is always a great time to be in space with fellow Black and Brown LGBTQIA+ individuals. And so anytime that I can be in a room full of my community, I am always going to be happy, especially when my community be looking so good, child. When I tell you so many fine people there, I was like, my God, I'm going to find me a husband. But that wasn't the reason why I was there. In addition to this being my first HIV conference, I've done a lot of conferences over the years in my life for many different things, entertainment, writing, performing, and all that good stuff. And I've also, presented at some of those other conferences. But this was my first HIV conference, and it was the first time that I actually presented. We got to present on Swab and Chill. And if I do say so myself, bitch was gleaming. Okay, I was just doing the things, all the things. And I did it well. I presented with our Associate Director of Prevention Services, Dante Morrison, and of course, our Prevention Training Specialist over in Trans Connections, the wonderful Lucky Alexander. So it was a really great immersive experience to see older people there that you can learn from, people your age, younger than you. And also, I got to meet an individual who, they really did touch my heart because they're a straight man, married for the last 8 years. And he was like, I hate the word ally. He said, because the Black LGBTQIA community is my community. And he said, I would not be the man that I am without the Black LGBTQIA plus community. And to hear that coming from like a straight, like heterosexual Black man, just so comfortable in his skin, so comfortable around the community, I was just like, we're here. This is what it's all about. Now, Kai and Ryan, I know Kai has done his fair share of conferences. Have you ever been to NASM? And if not, would you ever want to go?
I have not, and I really wanted to go. I had FOMO seeing you guys. I was like, oh my gosh, I saw the videos, I saw the pictures. I was like, I was supposed to be there, but it's okay. Next year,
trainings.
Next year, I did. So yeah, next year we'll be there for sure.
I have not.
And it won't be in LA, so.
And it won't be. I believe next year is like in Florida or something.
In Florida.
He's trying to travel. He's trying to travel.
It's in Miami.
I heard it was in not. It wasn't Miami. It was Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, well it's Florida. It's Florida.
Yeah.
But I have not been to NASM. It was definitely something that I would have loved to gone to, but it was definitely, I think, one of those things. There was a lot of other people who hadn't gone to conventions, so I said, no, let other people take their turns, especially everyone who's going to be working with the population, with the programs that they have. So I was okay with sitting this one out this time. So yeah.
Well, shout out to NASM and everyone that was a part of the conference, all the presenters and all of that good stuff. Again, it was just an amazing time to see just community in the building. But we're moving on to the next topic on the docket. I need y'all's opinions. So, okay, y'all know I'm old, right? I'm like the oldest one on this tent. And so I don't always be in the know of the things that are going on. I need the people to tell me. So apparently there is either a new feud or a feud that has been reemerged as it pertains to Keisha Cole and Money Long. Now, for those of you who don't know Money Long, she is the girl that wrote and is very hot right now for the Hours and Hours song.
Priscilla Renee.
Hours, that whole good thing. Apparently, there was a huge to-do because Money Long was speaking with Keisha Cole, had been friends with Keisha Cole, and was basically trying to get to know Keisha Cole because she was going to write for Keisha Cole. And she apparently went somewhere else, wrote a song that involved Keisha's story, but didn't give it to Keisha Cole. And Keisha felt the way about that. Okay, Keisha felt the way about that. And Keisha went on the interview and she said, look here, don't be trying to exploit my story. Honey. This is my story. That you just going off and trying to be famous and trying to be, do your little thing. But this is my experience, not your experience.
Well, Keisha girl.
Apparently, there was another song that Money Long had written that I guess a producer had taken and given to Keisha that was meant for Keisha. And it was what was Keisha's song? VOSP? What's the little acronym song?
VSOP?
Huh?
VSOP?
That one right there.
That's K Michelle. Right. Wait, that's K Michelle.
Whatever. Huh? Apparently, it was given to her, and it wasn't supposed to be given to her, but the producer gave it to her. And by that time, I guess Money didn't have a lot to say. But in regards to Money Long and this Keisha Cole experience, how do y'all feel about that? Have you even heard about the feud?
I haven't heard about it, but are we talking about Keisha Cole or K Michelle? Those are two different.
Well, this particular feud in regards to writing a song about my own experience, that's Keisha Cole.
Okay. I have not heard about this, but you can't compete, you can't compare. Look at Keisha's resume. Look at her credentials. And this girl has this running song on TikTok. It's like once you make a song for TikTok, you automatically somebody. I just feel like,
I
come
just
on
want
now.
to let y'all know that my job is calling me. They know I'm on the link. They
Yeah,
call
it's the
me.
front desk. They called
And
me
they're
too. I was like,
probably calling me with another COVID update, and I'm about to throw my phone in the trash.
I'm tired of these updates.
So-
every day.
What I will say, not in defense, because I haven't heard about it anything either, and I know a lot of people are saying that Money Long is this new head or whatever. She's been writing for a while. She's been
A long while.
a long while. So like some of our favorites, like California King Bed, like she's been writing, and she used to be known as Priscilla Renee. So that's how I know her.
Okay.
I'm just a girl, the Dollhouse song or whatever.
Okay,
So
yeah.
she's been around for a while, but she changed her name, started her own record label. I think if you work with somebody and you took someone else's story, it's like etch and sketch. Is that gonna like fall in like court of law? I don't know. But I don't think it's a good way to reintroduce yourself to the world. But I still like Hours and Hours. I still like the song. And I'll still play Arizona by Priscilla Renee every time I'm feeling homesick. Go look it up. It's called Arizona. It's my favorite
Wayne,
song.
I know you have things to say. You don't like Hours and Hours.
I sure don't. I thought she stole it from Sesame Street. So we all on the same page here. Okay? Look, I'm sorry, Priscilla Renee Money Long. You as far as let's stay on topic. As far as the whole Keisha Cole thing is concerned, Keisha, you be acting real high sedity sometimes. So I could totally see Miss Priscilla Renee bringing your song to you and you being like, well, I just don't understand it. Like, you don't understand your own story, or being like, I don't think this is gonna sell. And so she took it where somebody would buy it because people have bills, Keisha. And she sold it. And unless y'all had something in writing, girl, you got a loss. Take that L and learn.
That's fair.
And I'm very much with Dwayne on this one. Now, I do like Hours and Hours. I did my own little, cover of it on the Ticket to Target.
And that was way better than the original.
Bless you. Bless your heart. But I will say, as a songwriter myself, I feel like when you are going in to write for somebody else and you are getting to know them and they do have stories and experiences, you're a storyteller at the end of the day. That's what a songwriter is. And you get those stories wherever you get them from. And I think that if she was speaking to Keisha and getting to know Keisha with the intention to write a song for Keisha and Keisha didn't want the song, well, the song is made. Like, it's just, I can't just let it sit here. I got to shop it around. Yeah. And who's to say that this experience that you gave, that you shared, doesn't resonate with another artist or doesn't resonate, with a similar story elsewhere. So in that regard, I'm like, Keisha, you need to have several seats, a pillow, and a blanket because, bitch, you need a nap.
And on the shadier side of things, who said you was going to be able to deliver this lyrical content the way
I can't. I do feel like if you've been in this industry at this particular, as long as you have, because Ryan said check the catalog, then you should know, honey, get your paperwork in order. Get your paperwork in order.
That's the weird thing for me is like, Keisha, I don't feel like I can't feel bad that like, oh, you got duped or whatever. Like, girl, you've been in this game strong 20 years at this point.
Come on.
Like, you know a little bit.
That song with the run that you couldn't even do that you tried and everybody was singing.
Stop it, love.
That's the one. But I love you too, Keisha. But we're gonna move on to the last thing, which I don't know if any of you have seen this online, but it is making a lot of headway on the religious circuits of social media. So Pastor Michael Todd, who is a pastor of a mega church out in Oklahoma, did a sermon this past week where he was talking about, for those of you who are biblical or not, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus spits into the ground, takes the mud, rubs it on someone's eyes, and the scales fall from this man's eyes. Like he was blind and now he can see. That's what happens in the story. Well, in preaching this story, Michael Todd thought that he was going to represent Jesus.
He spit
and
on
so
somebody.
He popped a good old piece of spit right in his hand.
It was like a couple.
Spit and rubbed it on a congregant's face. Now, judging by your reactions, I'm sure you've not heard or seen this.
Absolutely not.
I've seen it.
Oh my goodness.
Now, he did come on and do an apology video on his Instagram saying that, he really likes to make the word of the Lord relevant for the people, and he wants to bring it alive, you know, so that it's not just a story on the page. But he did say that he feels like he went too far. Now, I'm not going to get deep into the religious side of things because there's a lot of opinion about that. But what are your thoughts just on the overall situation?
So was he just like taken over by the spirits, or like? Because that's what I want to know. Like, you realize that this
He
was
didn't look
taken
taken
too
over.
far.
I feel like no
After you
there was a
decided to go.
build-up. There was a build-up. It wasn't like he was like feeling himself and there was a build-up. He was
Like,
telling the
this was a plan.
story. He
I
knew
feel
what
like
he
this
was
was
doing.
planned.
Yeah. So in my opinion, in my household, unless I ask you to spit on me, don't you dare put your nasty saliva, especially in a panini that we're in right now.
Right.
We know better than this. We
We
can't
are in a
walk
whole
around our
parallelogram, honey, and you
like
got
we
your
walk outside with
wrapped
our
on the
masks and
man's
stuff like this.
face.
And this sir said, you know what? Phew, Jesus.
Ugh.
So if I hope that congregant knew kind of what was happening, because if it was me and I didn't know, I would have been fighting in the house of the Lord. But that's
would have
just the
stomped him right in the chest.
right? And like Kwame said, there's also levels of disrespect too.
Exactly.
Spit is spit, and then like I said, unless I ask you to, and usually it's just in my mouth, don't spit on me.
Dwayne, Ryan, any words, any reaction? Well, the visual reactions are amazing.
There's too much justification. Like, now he's sorry about it. I don't like it. Like, you should have been thinking about it when you were doing it. Child, that's nasty.
I think ultimately it's just a health concern, right? There's just, especially
It's
now
not.
during COVID-19, there's a health concern. Like
That, the disrespect.
On the one
question.
hand, I'm disgusted, but on the other hand,
I'm still disgusted on both hands.
I'm still disgusted. Yes,
Which hand has
but
spit?
slightly entertained, and also want to kind of dig into his sermons to see what other type of wild shenanigans like he done put on in his church. Because if it just started at the spitting, I'm like, okay, so are we doing the blood? Like, are we slitting hands? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what if? I just have more questions than anything, because if you're trying to bring it to life.
Well, just to give context, these are my thoughts on it. Michael Todd, at the end of the day, I feel like it was a huge manipulation of scripture. Number one, if you read that particular portion of scripture, Jesus doesn't spit in the man's face. He spits in the dirt, takes the clay, and uses the clay. That's number one. Number two, you ain't God. But and the man that he was dealing with wasn't blind. So there was no need for you to be exercising your faith in that way. And number three, we are in a whole parallelogram, sir. We are in a whole panini parallelogram
everywhere.
And you got the nerve, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to put your saliva and let it slither down someone's face. Sir,
well, you know,
that's nasty.
Your apology to me is invalid. Your apology is not enough, because at the end of the day, I felt like even your apology made light of the situation, and this is just not a lighthearted thing, regardless of where you're coming at it from a health perspective or a religious, spiritual perspective. Like, it was all bad. So hopefully, you know, he's able. I feel like this. Anybody who saw that day should have got up and left, because I'd have been gone. I'd have been gone. I would have been gone. But that is all that we have for.
Actually, on lighter notes, that kind of goes with it. Sorry, this is about COVID information. So if you don't know, COVID rates in California have increased tenfold in the last month. If you are looking to have free COVID tests mailed to you, the federal government is now doing that starting now. So you just go to covidtest.gov. I repeat, TESTS.gov, and you can get your free COVID test. So they're doing 4 tests per household. So if you're interested, do it. There was a soft launch of the website today. The website officially goes full live tomorrow. No issues so far. So if you're looking for COVID tests, federal government will mail you 4 for your house for free. So that's it. That relates.
And they're saying that they'll send them out closer to like the end of the month. That's all I'm saying. Don't be looking for it now. They'll be sending everybody their COVID kit, their take-home COVID kits.
It takes them as long as it did to send us our stimulus checks. I hope people are not waiting for them COVID tests in 2 days.
But that as well.
It's the government, honey, and it's a lot of us. So, you know, take your chances. Or you can go to CVS and get one for $10. I'm just saying. But
they all out. They're all out.
That is the end of our What's Poppin' segment. I'm going to kick it off to Kai, who's going to lead us into our main topic for the day. Go ahead, Kai.
Hey. So yes, as Daniel said, we're getting into the main topic. Today we have, I love graphics. Look, it's been almost 2 years, and every time a graphic shows up, I always think it's the most amazing thing ever. I don't get computers, so I'm like, wow. But today's
Did you
topic,
see that new graphic for the warning message at the beginning of the show? I
sure
said,
did.
okay,
My
come
low
on,
self-esteem here, like,
eyebrow, okay.
wow.
I missed that.
But today's topic is, are you PrEP-aired? So it's going to be a conversation about PrEP. And, we all work with PrEP every single day, but we thought it would be a great chance to actually bring someone who it is their job to help you get on PrEP. So we have the wonderful, the amazing, I always say magnanimous, so I'm going to say it again, magnanimous Alexander Ortiz. And it still amazes me. Hi, Alex.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Alex.
Doing
Hi,
great.
Come on, skin, come on, glow.
Right, glowing.
Come on, highlight.
Shine on camera. So for everyone wondering, Alexander's official title is PrEP Navigator here at APLA Health. So we're definitely going to get into it, but before, tell us who you are.
So my name is Alexander Ortiz. I graduated at SGSU in public health, and I'm the PrEP Navigator at the Long Beach Clinic at APLA Health. What I do specifically is help people get on assistance programs for PrEP, and as well as connect them to providers inside our clinic to make sure that they are prescribed with PrEP. And I'm just there dealing with any sort of discrepancies along with the pharmacy to make sure that our patients are getting their PrEP, and I'm there the one to dispute that. I'm an Aquarius. I'm non-binary.
Aquarius.
I go by they, them, he, him. I am from Southern California, born and raised. And how I found myself in APLA Health. Nigel, actually. I love Nigel.
Nigel, from our substance use or for Project Impact.
Got it. Yeah, definitely inspired me to come here, but also too within my undergrad research, I was always doing HIV research. I did things about like researching HIV with inside the prison complex, and as well as, especially, I was researching HIV with inside the Latinx community and the Black community as well.
Right. So you'd mentioned before, Alex, that you've been already doing this before you even came to APLA Health. Why HIV? How did that happen? Right. Even in the LGBTQ mindset, we have a lot of different things going on. Why did you decide, HIV is something I want to kind of really take a look at?
I definitely, as a young person, was terrified of contracting HIV. I definitely had my moments of like scares and was definitely having like moments of like being depressed about it. And testing was like a scary experience as someone who was a teenager at the time. Testing was a scary experience. And then, as I got older and I went into university, I started dating, and I was meeting a lot of partners that were HIV positive, these younger men, and I saw how it impacted them, and I saw that the trauma that they were going through, facing it, and it definitely inspired me to do this work and to help people. And my ex-partner definitely inspired me to do this work today. I'm very much thankful for that journey. They're not in my life anymore, but I do appreciate it. I do, because I wouldn't be doing this work today if it wasn't for that experience.
Look at you talking all nice in your ex. I'm like, so let me tell you about my ex. No, I'm kidding. But so then here's a question for you, Alex. When did you first learn about PrEP? How old were you? Because I always find it's different for everyone. So I've mentioned my story. I didn't know about PrEP until I moved to LA when I was 26. So that's 4 years ago. So I was a little bit later learning about PrEP. When did you first learn about PrEP?
I was probably maybe like 21, 22. Okay. But definitely what made me like for sure like want to go on PrEP, because my partner was HIV positive, but again, they were undetectable. And undetectable means untransmittable. But I still definitely wanted to be on PrEP. And I got on PrEP in February of 2020. That's when I first started.
Great. Now, does anyone have any more questions? Because if not, I have questions.
My question for you, and I tend to ask this question a lot because I still feel like with where we are with PrEP, there's still a lot of misconception about PrEP. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of data in regards to like our transmasculine folks and even our cis feminine individuals. There's just a lot of misinformation, a lot of ill information. What are some of the things? What are like maybe one or two misconceptions about PrEP that you can kind of debunk for us as it pertains to either cisgender women or trans masculine individuals?
Well, there is a lot of because when my clinic at Long Beach, there is a huge trans community that comes in for our services, and there's a huge misconception of like their hormone therapy getting messed up being alongside PrEP, and there's no scientific data that there is that those two disrupt each other. But again, within our trans community, I've heard a lot of things like that's not their main focus when they need other services compared to gay men. Trans individuals need housing, trans individuals need support in other ways, and PrEP is not necessarily the main focus. So we need to learn how to advocate for our trans community in better ways so that we can focus on prescribing them PrEP.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then kind of, we don't have to go too deep into it, but especially for people who are trans or maybe trans identifying, what information on PrEP would you give them, especially for someone who is like a trans man looking to get on PrEP? Because I know there are some differences in kind of the way PrEP can, or when it can take effect for people.
So the only thing that I can give you guys my advice on this is that the main thing that when we are prescribing people PrEP, the main thing that we check is just kidneys. The kidneys are a main factor when we are prescribing PrEP. We want to make sure that your kidneys are functioning, and even within like gay men, that's their very big concern is their kidneys. So I definitely do think that is the only thing that they should really be worried about is the kidney aspect, and there shouldn't really be a worry about the kidney aspect because when you go in to do your labs at the clinic, they are doing a full STI panel as well as checking your kidneys to see that you're okay to be on PrEP. They would not prescribe you PrEP if anything wasn't checking out clear.
Yeah, and the new PrEP Descovy is a little bit more gentler on your kidneys and your liver and things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. Now we do know for Descovy, it hasn't been tested on trans men and I believe women as well.
I don't think Gilead has done studies with inside women.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do know as of right now that is only for MSM and trans women are the only people right now for Descovy, but there is Truvada, everyone, and we do know now insurance is cover it all. So if you have insurance, woo! And we'll talk more about that.
Generic Truvada is as well as getting more popular. If you're insured and if you have things like Kaiser, they're going to be prescribing generic Truvada.
Of course they are, because they said we're not spending money. But yeah, and we'll definitely get into kind of a little bit more information on kind of what it looks like for someone to get enrolled into PrEP when we take our break here in a couple more minutes. But Alex, so before we get it, if someone says, I want to get on PrEP, what phone number do they call?
They can call 562-247-7752, and that's my number at the Long Beach clinic. And if that clinic doesn't work for you, there's many clinics that you could go to that I could link you to. So yeah, you can call my number. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. I don't know my colleagues' numbers by heart. I should, but it's just so easy with this resource that we use. And we can just click it, and it's fine.
And one of the great things too is if you call our clinic for whatever reason, if you can't find Alex's number or T's number or even any of our numbers, you call our clinic and they will get you to the right place. And we also have a phone banking system too, or go online to the internet because those are my favorite resources.
Okay, we love the internet.
Look, I have it. I have all the answers to life right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I use it.
You have the answers to life, child.
Look.
And also too, like the Ryan White Foundation gives you like access to there's a PrEP tab online where you could type in your zip code and they can show you what facilities are offering PrEP services.
Wow, yeah, see, I didn't even know that. You go to the Ryan White Foundation online, and we'll talk about Ryan White a little bit later. They definitely offer you that. So that is something I didn't know. So we learned things. But now at this point, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. When we get back, we're going to get into the fun stuff on how to enroll in PrEP with Alexander.
Ooh,
Are you in need of a quick and easy way to know your HIV status? Swab and Chill is a discreet way to learn your status in the comfort of your own home. The process gives you results in 20 minutes. Swab the upper gums, swab the lower gums, and voila! Simply follow the colorful step-by-step instructions located inside the kit. Or call APLA and we can assist you virtually. In addition, all kits include condoms and lube for that penetrative fun. For our trans clients, we have Swab and Chill Plus, a customizable kit for trans-specific needs. And we haven't forgotten about COVID either. All kits include personal protection gear, like face masks, comfortable yet stylish. A personal touch tool for dealing with those germ-infested handles and ATM keypads. Wet wipes for those little messes that need cleaning up. Also, keep that summer body protected with Swab and Chill sunscreen. And don't forget about our fanny packs for those quick trips to the store. All this can be yours. Simply call Swab and Chill at 323-329-9713 or email us at swabandchill@apla.org. We would love for you to be part of our Swab and Chill family.
Swab and Chill with us!
I tried to stop myself before we get back. So thank you all for.
There you go, honey. That music just gives me goodness. It gives me goodness.
We're back and we are here with our amazing, wonderful, fantastic guest, Alexander Ortiz, and we are talking about PrEP today. So before we left, we mentioned that we we're going to be talking about, how you enroll in PrEP with Alex. But before we do, I realized, we missed. And no, I don't think we missed it because we've definitely talked about this before, but maybe Alex, you can enlighten us. What is PrEP?
So PrEP stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. PrEP is a daily pill that you take that is a preventative measure so you don't contract infection. I'm so sorry. You would take this pill within a week time period so that your body is fully aware of it and it helps you, it gets used to your body.
And so say if you fear that you've been exposed to HIV, is there an option for you then?
It is an option, but the key with this is it's post-exposure prophylaxis, which is known as PEP, and you need to get on this medicine within a 72 time period, and the sooner you do it, it's quicker. Most emergency rooms do give you this medication if you don't have if you need something quicker and you don't have access to APLA Health or other LGBTQ clinics. It's okay. And you can go to emergency room to get that medication.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good resource. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes you can go to, that is an option, is going to the emergency room. They feel like they have to go to these clinics Monday. And no, girl, if that happened Friday and it's Saturday and you realize it, you can head on to the emergency room. You don't have to wait for us to be open.
Definitely. I definitely had patients come to me and be like, I don't know where to go. They would be like, I have Kaiser insurance, and that's kind of like a private network. And I definitely advise them to go to the urgent care or the emergency room that they have there, because those areas, especially Kaiser, should know what that is and be able to prescribe their patients that medication.
Yeah, so great. So then here's my question for you then, Alex.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the 1-a-day PrEP pill option. Are there other options? Because I know there's a couple new stuff that are in the works or the world is super excited about. Can you talk to us about that?
So we're going to talk about the ones that are in work and the ones that are coming on later. So the ones that are in work right now are called 2-1-1. Basically, you take 2 pills before having sex, and then you take it one the day after, and then the day after again. So yeah, that's what it is. And there's also an injectable PrEP that is coming that is FDA approved, but that is still in the works, and we don't have our hands on it just of yet. But it will definitely be in the fall time frame, early fall or late fall. is when it's expected to be rolled out into clinic.
Yeah, so for everyone who doesn't know, there has been a PrEP that was approved by the FDA for injectable. It's just gonna take some time. We don't have it yet because I've actually had a couple people ask me. They're like, "Oh, I want to get the injectable PrEP," and I'm like, "Oh, we don't have that yet." But who knows? In the future, very very soon, it could be an option.
Definitely within this time frame, within this year, I definitely do think it should be coming out for sure.
So then, Alex, I have a question for you. For someone who's coming in and say all three options were available for somebody, like they could do the 2-in-1, they could do the daily, or they could do the injectable. How would you explain which one would work best for somebody? Like, who do you think would work best for 2-in-1? Who do you think would work best for the one a day, or who do you think works best for the injectable? Or do you think there's one that's better than the other?
There's some people that I have, like some clients I do have that don't want to be on PrEP all the time and that just want it for specific reasons and we can go ahead and talk to the whoever that they specifically want to get on 2-in-1. Not everyone wants to take a daily pill, but there's some people who do want to take the daily pill. And then again, say the shot comes about. The way that they are working with the shot right now is that if people are coming into their labs consistently, because when you're on PrEP, you come to labs every 3 months, and they're looking at people who are candidates who are taking their pill daily as well as coming to their labs daily and doing their follow-ups so that they know that the shot is going to be working for these patients. Because the thing about the shot right now is that they have expiration dates. So we want to make sure the clients who are on top of their medication as well as coming into their labs are taking the shot in that aspect.
Well, I have a question for my co-host. If all three are, available, which option do y'all think that y'all would
I'm getting that needle. I'm getting that needle.
Right? Look, I'm looking it up.
Needle.
Okay, shoot me in the butt.
Okay.
Look, that's not all fun and dandy. I got a shot in my booty the other day, and they had to put it as a muscle. My booty was sore for a good 2 days, and of course, I was going to go ride a mechanical bull the day after.
Oh, no,
well, that was a you problem then.
It's part of the function. You just have to be there.
Yeah. I think for me, the daily pill works just because I know me. I'm going to forget. I'm going to make that appointment, and then that day is going to happen, and I'm going to be doing 100 other things, and then I'm not going to do it. And then it basically becomes invalid. The 2-in-1, like Alexander said, still to me, it can get really confusing. It gets really weird. Start counting days, and okay, I took it these days. So for me, 2-in-1 doesn't work, but I get it why it would work for someone. But I like the daily pill. I take my vitamins every night at dinner. I can take my PrEP pill at the same time. My vitamins are just as big as PrEP pills too. So it's like, but yeah.
But honestly, for me, I'll do whichever one is gonna work the best, which is kind of like leads me into my question that I have for Alexander here, or whatever. There, here, wherever he is on your screen.
Right here.
Which one would you say, like, which method would you say has a better, like, rate at protecting you from, like, HIV? Like, which one would you say is more, I don't want to use the word, like, which one has a better efficacy rate? I had another word, but, for others who don't, like, which one works the best? Yeah. Thanks, Kai.
So which one works the best? Honestly, I am not a medical provider, so I cannot say like which one's going to work the best for you. But there is statistical research that the shot is going to be more accurate. But again, the pill has been known to be like 99%, to be working. So is 2-in-1, and as well as PEP. All these tools are working. Again, it just comes down to the individual, what works best for you. Like Kai says, Kai loves to take it at dinner time with his Looney Tune vitamins and gets it together.
My Nutrafil for my hair, my vitamins, my PrEP, it's all right there.
Alexander, based on you working with PrEP, do you think that prediction or that kind of guesstimate has more to do with the fact that it's going directly into the bloodstream versus taking a pill? It's an injectable, so it's going right into the body.
I'm not too sure. I haven't studied the injectable yet. I know how the injectable kind of works. I know that you say if you miss a shot, the doctors would prescribe you a medication alongside with it. So if you do miss your shot, you would get the 30 days worth of pills, and then you would go in to get your shot. because I believe it's every 2 months you go in to go get this shot.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, you would go get the shot every 2 months, and if you miss it, you would go get say you're going on vacation. I don't know where you're going somewhere, and you don't have access to there that, and you would be getting prescribed the medication. From what I'm assuming, it's not that it sounds like a vaccine because it's not. I don't know how to explain it because this is really new. I don't know yet.
And I would say for this one, it's not so much the way that it's being injected. It's just that when it is being injected, you can't miss. Like once it's in there for the next 2 months, you don't miss a dose. But like when you're taking it by mouth yourself, there's opportunities where you do miss a dose. Or if you're not taking it consistently, sometimes that does happen too. So I think that's what makes it like that much more effective if you make sure you get it every 2 months on time.
And then also
it kind of reminds me of like the depot shot for cis women, like the birth control.
Oh,
The women who get the depot shot because they don't want to deal with the pill. As far as like taking it, that's what it reminds me of.
Look, I'm just waiting for them to do like an insert. Like I
But
want
that
that.
reminds me though.
A what?
Are there any? Oh, the IUD.
Yeah,
But like for PrEP,
yeah.
I get
I
you.
would
feel
do
like
it. Put
I
them
would
out
do
on
it too.
No, ma'am.
But I had a question, Alex. Let me find it because I lost it. Very squirrel brain over here.
Cookies, bubbles.
Okay, look. But shit. Oh, I mean, shoot.
Well, why do you think of that question, Alex? I have a question for you. If someone were to call, what's the process like to get enrolled in PrEP at APLA Health? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so there's 3 questions that I ask you. So basically, I ask, what is your prior knowledge of PrEP? Because some people don't know what PrEP is completely. So I want to be there to like acknowledge the patient and make sure know what they're taking, because not every patient knows what they're taking. Some people believe it's to cover all STDs, and it's not. Some people have said it was if it's for hepatitis. No, it's strictly for HIV. And then I get into a question where do you live in the county? The reason why I ask that question is based on just data research that the county needs. It's a consent form, and whereas do you live, you have insurance is a big important question because that determines what paperwork I need to do to get you into the clinic.
So what if we don't have insurance? Then what are our options?
You can still come in. I got you.
Come on now.
Okay.
Look, Alex said it's fine.
I like how he said that very like sugar daddy-esque.
Right,
Like,
I got you.
I got you, boo. I got you.
I know. I was like, okay.
It was very like, I don't have insurance. Alex said, and.
Okay.
I'm
Great.
to Alex specifically.
Okay, right, because he said he got me. But I remember my question now, y'all.
Let's do it. What do you got to ask?
So, as we know, or may not know, with the pill, there are some side effects that people are concerned about. So, I wanted to know, as far as like this injectable is concerned, like, what are the side effects of that, if there are any at all? That come up.
If going alongside with PrEP side effects, it's basically stomach aches, headaches, and nausea. That's like the most common side effects when you're taking these type of like injectable or when you're taking medications. Definitely what I've experienced from patients when I'm on the phone with them is definitely some diarrhea, stomach issues, and headaches are definitely the big side effects. But that's only in the beginning though. You're not going to be experiencing that prolonged. You're only experiencing that in the beginning because your body's getting used to the medication or the injectable.
Just like any other medication you take.
Yes.
Now, does everybody always have side effects?
No, not everybody.
Okay.
I didn't.
I didn't.
Go. I did for like a week. Something was eating my stomach up. Okay. I don't know.
I
just had.
My stomach was hurting.
See, for me, as someone with a weak stomach, I didn't have stomach issues, but boy, those dreams were intense.
You had dreams?
I had night terrors for the first week.
Oh, wow.
Like very vivid. But it's fine. I find horror dreams fun. But anyway, yeah, you never know what's gonna pop out.
Right, Kai is saying, put me in a dark maze, okay? Oh my God, a beautiful man.
I'm like, who's gonna pop out here? So Alexander, I have a question for you. In regards to who do you think benefits the most from PEP or PrEP? Excuse me. Like who should be on PrEP?
Everybody should be on PrEP.
Yes, I love it.
The reason why PrEP should be for everybody, because the thing that I love to say is most is that HIV doesn't discriminate against anybody. Anyone can contract HIV. I would want to focus PrEP in Black communities, especially within women, because their HIV rates are going up alongside the men in their community as well. So I say PrEP is for all.
Yeah. And I think that's actually a really big thing. And in the last few years, we've really seen the conversation around PrEP change from gay men to, it was gay men, then trans women. And now we're starting to finally see, I think, that expansion into, especially like you mentioned, Black women, because Black women are the leading new diagnosis in cisgendered women. So it is very, very important.
I definitely do think, since like we are very being proactive in like sexuality, like we're exploring sexuality more, because in California, I can only say we're very open.
We love sex here.
And then like gender.
If you don't have no fans, someone else does that you know.
Okay.
Yes.
Literally.
So then, Alexander, because you had mentioned that, do you think that's a positive thing? Do you think us being so sex forward is going to help with the implementation of PrEP to all?
It just varies on individuals. You know, people who are very sex positive sometimes don't want to be on PrEP at all. I think I think there's a lot of lack of education on PrEP. But because the reason why there's lack of education, because there's so much stigma based on HIV, you know, so there's that HIV tie to PrEP. And then I think that's why we're not prescribing as much as we should, because HIV is so stigmatized to this day.
I have more questions because you all know I do. And Alex, you know this question is coming up. If someone were to go to their provider and kind of having issues or afraid to ask their provider for PrEP, what advice would you give them?
So if you go to your main provider and you don't go to an LGBTQ clinic, I definitely say go out to a clinic that is LGBTQ focused. Our providers see LGBTQ plus people every day. That is our main focus. And also to, you know, from my experience, I got my PrEP through Kaiser. And I'm not gonna lie, like I had a little bit of a breakdown, because I was definitely feeling some type of way going inside of this clinic, because there was no one looking like me. I was not being held by other queer people. Literally with inside like Kaiser, it's called infectious disease. And I'm just kind of like, that doesn't work for me personally. But you know, like it's just, I definitely, if you don't feel safe at your provider, definitely seek out APLA Health, seek out an LGBTQ clinic, because those are the places that are gonna make you feel safe and comforted and getting on this medication that you want to and need to if you want to get on it.
So we have a question from Kwame Nabik. Do you guys only focus on clients within the LA area?
So we focus on LA County mostly, but we don't say no to clients who are outside of LA County. We also take in Orange County and Orange County clients as well.
I would say probably for that, it's just a matter of, can you get to our clinics to do the blood work?
Basically, yeah. Those are some drives that people have to do.
Yeah,
but we got them in Long Beach. We got them in like Watts, Willowbrook, Compton area.
Ooh, new site.
You know, San
Bernardino. We don't have a clinic in San Bernardino, but you are more than welcome to drive down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's definitely, like, again, like you can go into the Ryan White Foundation, type in your zip code and see like what PrEP services are near you. So like you don't have to make like a hike all the way for some PrEP services. And there's definitely some near you that is more convenient to you.
Unless you want to see us, which is cool too.
Yeah, you know.
So as we come to the end of our show, Alex, I always like to give people the opportunity to kind of just say what they feel, their final like goodbye thoughts, or something that you want whoever's watching this, whether it be live, tomorrow, 50 years in the future.
Oh my God, 50 years. Can we not age us that far ahead?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Why
look
not?
exactly
I'm
the
trying
same.
to make it to 100. Okay.
I'm gonna look exactly the same, so I'm okay.
Period. Okay, with maybe some white some white right here. Okay, that's it.
Oh no, I'm not gonna have any facial hair.
I'm already
But
going gray. I'm already bald. God, do I have to be a chicken head too?
it's just gonna be long hair. But anyway, Alexander, what parting message do you want the world to have about PrEP? Or what is something that's super important that people just need to accept about PrEP?
Come on, answer the question, Alex. You got a lot of pressure. You better answer it right.
Come on, Miss Claire. I got it.
That's more pressure.
Definitely, I think that you should try to give yourself the chance to be on PrEP and give yourself the opportunity to at least experience it. You know, if you were kind of hesitant on it, try it out for 3 months, see if it works out for you. I just say just give yourself the opportunity to try it. If it's something that you want to try, and if your community is experiencing HIV infection rates, and giving yourself the opportunity to protect yourself as well as people around you, and it just gives yourself a better state of mind. I know testing can be scary sometimes. Again, we understand that HIV is not a death sentence, but we definitely do want to keep those infection rates down. And if we can prescribe people PrEP, by all means, get on it, try it out. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. At least you tried it, and I think that's all I'm asking is just to try.
You heard it.
And I'm gonna just add something for the girls that have the side effects. All medication has side effects. Okay. Let's be clear. In most medication, your aspirin that you take for your headache also affects your kidneys and things. Okay. So
especially those
let's build that bridge in 2022 and get over it, so we can figure it out, or like find a holistic approach if you're that school.
Holistic. Dwayne said no excuses. Get on PrEP.
That's it. Okay.
If you're definitely exercising, you're eating healthy, and you're definitely drinking your water, you should definitely drinking your water.
Eat ice.
Eat it, I guess.
I mean,
Ice.
you can put it to make chips and eat it that way. So technically, okay, that's when you're eating your water too.
Yeah, I definitely think your provider would not definitely be prescribing you PrEP when you come into these labs every 3 months if your kidney was not up for it, for sure. So they check that constantly.
Yeah, and they don't wait for kidney shutdown either. They don't say, oh, your kidneys are bad. It's like, hey, kidneys aren't looking as good, so let's stop. Kind of.
Yeah, and I don't know about y'all, but in my experience with some of the providers that I have had, I've been blessed enough to assert myself enough to where I can switch them around. But to make a long story short, the providers that I have had are also open and willing to finding ways to strengthen your kidneys and build them back up so that they are healthy enough to be on PrEP again. Like there's so many benefits to even trying to like be prescribed to PrEP, because a lot of people don't even check their vitals all the time. They're just like, oh, I just want to make sure my private part isn't leaking, or that I don't have this weird burn or rash for too long. Like, but it's much more than that.
Yeah. But with that, though, we are going to end today's episode. I want to thank you, Alex, so much for being on. Alex was a great trooper. This was kind of a last minute last week. I was like, hey, do you want to be on the link? And they're like, okay. So thank you so much for being on. Thank you, Ryan. This is your first show.
It is much like Degrassi. This is the next generation, you guys.
So
stay tuned for this phase.
As we've mentioned, for the last, I think, 2 or 3 episodes, Daniel and I will be stepping away, and it's actually going to be sooner than later. So we're going to start bringing around some new people, so you guys can still enjoy the link. You don't need Daniel and I to. I'm out this. We were amazing. But yeah,
you can catch me on my social media. Follow the name.
You know, they'll probably make guest appearances and things like that.
Yeah, the check is right. If the check is right, you know, you send me a good red carpet limo, I might show up for, you know.
I'm gonna send you the link. Okay, I'm gonna send you the link.
So with that, again, Alex, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, Ryan, officially to the link. Pretty soon, you're gonna see Ryan's face all over the link.
Everywhere.
But with that, everyone have a wonderful, safe Tuesday, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.